and welcome to another episode of Nerds Amalgamated. I'm the Professor, and my co-hosts are Devi Boy and the DJ. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good. Back in lockdown. 2020 is back.
I feel like I'm on house arrest already.
What, is FBI breaking or something? What have you been keeping on your hard drive, mate?
Are we gonna play 20... Are we playing 20 questions right now? Are we gonna do that right now?
Why on the house arrest?
And let me guess, I'm gonna have this like plate of donuts and eat them all, and then go like, "He did it."
No,
we know you did it.
It was
DJ.
your partner outside in the car. He did it. It wasn't my fault.
We know you did it, DJ. We just don't know what it is yet.
You know you've done something. Like that laugh is very suspicious.
It'd be
you
like
see DJ's face, and you think he's guilty.
Exactly right. He's not saying he isn't. So he hasn't stated his case yet. So obviously he's guilty straight away.
This is like the next episode of Law and Order. Like Debbie Boy's stabler and the professor is like the police lieutenant. It's like, all right, we need to break this guy down. Debbie Boy, employ your hardest tactic you can ever find.
Breaking news right in a second. I was just scrolling Twitter. Breaking news, only a couple of hours ago. Multi-time world-class Tetris champion Johnson Nuremberg passes away.
Oh,
so just happened.
What's his record?
Pardon?
What's his record?
Let's see. Nintendo.com. What do they say? 7 times winner.
Yeah, I mean, what's his high score?
Oh,
did they list that?
Let me try and find it. Let me give you the
Although if it's a championship, maybe they don't track the score.
Let's see. Wikipedia, come help me, please. There we go. 7 times winner, Tetris world champion. I don't know. I think it's just because he won 7 times. I don't think there's an actual score. If you go deep, I'm sure it's somewhere, but it's more just the fact he won 7 times. That's the best player in the world.
Yeah, fair enough.
Anyway, so sorry for the depressing start. This popped up, and I was like, well, that's kind of important.
I wonder if he ever played Tetris 99.
I believe he did a video with it.
Okay, gonna have to check this out. Because he would absolutely wreck.
I wonder if he ever played the Tetris Battle Royale game.
That's Tetris 99, DJ.
Oh, my bad.
There you go. Winning streak, hot pass.
Because I'm assuming, when I play Tetris, I can get maybe 5. So I'm assuming his high score is at least 7.
It'll have to be something like that. I mean, he was doing championships with Tetris 99 from the looks of things, like a Google search. But I can't confirm that. That's just based on some Reddit posts I've seen. But yeah, there you go.
All right. Well, speaking of counting, you guys know that an AI has developed visual number sense without being trained for it.
Uh-oh. What is that? Okay,
the uprising has begun.
So it can... What does that mean exactly?
So basically every animal has number sense, and that is being able to sort of estimate the number of things in a group.
Okay.
Buffalo, just an example, buffalo, or maybe it was bison. I'm not sure what the difference is.
Oh, sky bison. I see now.
They pick a direction to go by all pointing in different directions and then counting it up and seeing which direction wins.
I see.
So every animal has some sense of that sort of skill. And now a computer that wasn't trained for that has developed it.
That's okay. Well,
look, neural networks are incredible, but
do researchers know why it's suddenly developed intelligence?
No, I don't think they do.
No.
But they were experimenting with untrained neural networks to see what would happen. And then they realized that, hey, this thing's counting.
So basically the way they trained the neural network, it just went in a way they weren't designing it for, basically, I'm guessing.
Yeah. So it's an interesting view of cognition that number sense is based on another sense. So that raises some interesting questions about how your brain develops or how it works, really.
Makes sense. So,
and whether maybe being able to having visual number sense is a sign of consciousness.
Mm-hmm. Oh no. Okay, so basically, yeah, it would. Hey,
Well, I'm just making this up a bit as I go along, but the something allows creatures to develop number sense, even when they don't get exposed to numbers like people are. Because for all of their great technological advances, penguins still don't have accountants.
I mean, this comes back to me thinking about that video from ages ago about those AIs that managed to break the system. I forgot which one it was, but it's by a guy. There's lots of like AI and machine learning YouTube videos, and they managed to break the. I think we talked about it before. They managed to break the game and find out they can use the glitches inside the actual physics engine to complete the challenge.
Oh yeah, yeah. We might have mentioned that. I don't think we've had it in an episode.
Yeah, let's see if I can find it. It's a popular video. Anyways, while I'm doing this.
I like how the model that they were using, the AlexNet model, is designed on the basis of structure of a biological visual pathway. They found that the number selective neurons are observed in a random initialized DNNs in the complete absence of learning.
Yeah, it was by 2-minute papers. OpenAI plays hide and seek and breaks the game. So yeah, basically it's hide and seek between teams of 3 and 2. And basically the seeking team, well, first the hiding team found they could break the physics engine to move a block in front of the door in a way it jams. And then the seekers found out they can use physics engine and break it by using the blocks they can move around to actually launch themselves into the air and jump over a barrier. So it's like, well, no one thought this was not meant to, this wasn't part of the test.
So we've invented AI speedrunners.
Pretty much.
Oh, no.
I wonder if they'll cheat.
Oh. See, here, I'm looking at the Wikipedia page to talking about number sense. And the concepts that involves the number sense includes concepts of magnitude, ranking, comparison, measurement, rounding, percent, and estimations include estimating with large numbers to provide reasonable approximations, judging the degree of precision approximate to a situation, solving real-life problems involving percentages and decimal portions, comparing degree in Fahrenheit and Celsius in real-life situations.
Okay, so it's more complex than I was thinking. Although the other key thing about number sense, well, the example I heard for it was that, when you look at two small piles, you can tell sort of instinctively which one's bigger, even without counting it. And as I understand it, that ability falls off around 25 items. I could be pulling the numbers out of thin air here, but that's one application of number sense.
They say that number sense is said to be of prime importance for children in early elementary education. And it's a focus area of pre-K through second grade mathematics education. So I think this is good in a sense, like it could help kids learn number sense.
It's always a good thing to look on the positive side.
Yeah.
I mean, every time someone here, like everyone looks at Boston Dynamic video and goes, "Oh no, the world's gonna end." But I mean, it's not. Any guy can strap a gun to a robot and program it to shoot. But it depends if the guy who's going to.
The thing people are worried about is taking humans out of the loop.
Well, that's going to happen.
So apparently it's okay.
Case closed.
Yeah, apparently it's okay for a robot to kill you as long as there's a human directing that robot.
Is it? I think that's worse because I feel it's better. It's just robots and robots trying to kill each other because they're just robots.
Yeah.
Robots killing humans is kind of like. I mean, it goes against the laws, which no one really follows anyway. But the 3 laws of what was it, AI something? I can't remember.
Yeah, Asimov's 3 laws.
Yeah,
are not binding in any way.
No,
your computer has no concept of the 3 laws unless you tell it about them.
But in speaking of Asimov's laws, have you heard that someone was saying that they should update the Asimov's laws?
I mean, they were made in the 1950s, so probably a good idea.
So,
yeah, they're a good general catch-all, but there's a few tweaks I've heard of.
So here are some of the new laws that have been proposed. So new law number 1, AI should complement professionals, not replace them.
Okay. Replace the professionals. Then we will get to be lazy and slack off.
So it'd be like WALL-E, only crazier.
Exactly like WALL-E. There wasn't a moral message there that I've apparently missed, was there?
New law number 2: robotic systems and AI should not counterfeit humanity.
Just like Wall-E. Wall-E falls in love. That's counterfeiting humanity. Wall-E should be fed into the incinerator.
Ouch.
New law number 3: robotic systems and AI should not intensify zero-sum arms race.
Yeah, that's sort of a general rule for life, though. You shouldn't intensify an arms race ever.
New law number 4: robotic systems and AI must always indicate the identity of their creators, controllers, and owners.
Yep, that one's understandable as well. I mean, if I'm being killed by a robot, I'd like to know who to send a letter to.
It's like, dear owner of the robot that killed me, you suck.
It's like that fire.
You robot, how dare...
Like the fire department email in IT Crowd.
Oh.
Dear Sir / Madam.
Oh, yeah.
I am being murdered by your autonomous robot. Help.
But here's a question for you guys. Like, we've been talking about the positives and negatives of AI and how like this new achievement of AI learning number sense. Do you reckon like AI over the years has been getting all this flack for, oh my god, AI is evolving, this is gonna kill humanity and stuff. Do you reckon this is the time for AI to get a new image, basically? I mean, we're slowly getting the whole like AI getting a new image and stuff, but it's not working in a sense.
In what sense do you mean?
Like, people still have that whole, oh my god, AI is still gonna kill us, and
I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon. Like, if anything, it's probably going to get worse.
Yeah, people are going to panic more and more as the computers become more
Powerful.
Yeah. Like, nobody thought a Commodore 64 was going to take that job. Until it did.
Or did they?
it just reminds me of South Park with the whole, they took our Jeeves! But that being said, though, like, I think this is, with the whole number sense and AI, if they put more practicality into that into that, I think it will give a good image in a sense. Like, number sense is important. We all know that.
I think you could probably program the number sense in, or at least train it deliberately. But what you're not seeing is that the things that go behind that, which is why I think this is interesting. This is a development of consciousness. Well, maybe not consciousness, but it's on its way there. It's how the computer gets to where it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's the tough part, really. Let me break it all down.
Yeah, so I think the fact that this happened accidentally is what makes it interesting.
Yes, definitely. I think, just quickly jumping on that topic once more of people's reaction. Like, even us right now, we're like, ooh, okay. With, some of, ooh, well, that's a bit daunting. Like, give it 20 years and perhaps the world might be on fire, or a living peacefully with robots. You never know what the future holds. But I think, given such a massive theme with sci-fi, and with cyberpunk becoming more and more popular, I think it's going to become more and more in the consciousness of the mainstream as time progresses. So it's definitely going to evolve, basically. And like, for examples, and like this example here, with how, the AI just suddenly, well, not AI, but the machine learning algorithm decided, I'm not going to do what you say. I'm going to do this. That's a very, it's like, so you did something we didn't really want you to do, but you did anyway. It's cool.
And on the plus side, the thing it did that we didn't want it to do wasn't killing everyone with deadly neurotoxin.
Which is good, but it's more, what does that say, So if we do make intelligent AI, and this is low-level AI, which is really not even AI itself, it's a machine learning algorithm, it already develops its own thoughts in a way. But yes, we're not committing mass murder just yet.
So always be polite to your computer, just in case.
Now, kids, remember, if you're raging game session, don't bash Xbox 360 as it might jump to life and become a transformer. Just saying. Same goes vending machines.
It does remind me of a story I once heard about a lady who would type please after every line in the command prompt.
Oh?
She was she didn't want to be mean to the computer, so every this was back in the 80s. Everything she did, she'd type please.
Makes sense. So hang on, sorry. What did she do in the 80s?
She was learning how to use a computer
Oh, fair enough.
at a school or wherever, and her work kept failing. So the instructor was investigating and found out that she'd always type please, so that the computer would think she was being polite.
Oh, that's so sweet, but upsetting at the same time. I would hate as a coder that came like stand language. Obviously, it won't be, but if it was.
Someone, I believe, has made a language where you have to say please.
Please, sir, can I have some more RAM?
No, this is it. You have to say please. If you don't say please often enough, it won't compile. If you say please too often, it won't compile because you're groveling.
Please, computer, will you just pile this program one more time? No, not compiling again. Blows up, catches fire, creates legs, jumps out the window.
Speaking of AI, could you imagine robots doing the whole Oliver Twist routine?
Oliver Twist.
Please, sir, can I have more? Says the robot number one.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Yes, here we go. The language is called Intercal.
Oh, some kind of fun naming that.
Well, it's abbreviated for the compiler language with no pronounceable acronym. No, that's not an Okay, well, it's called Intercal, but it's also known as the compiler language with no pronounceable acronym.
Makes sense. There is no acronym. No pronounceable acronym. Oh, friggin' software devs. Always some random project they've come up with.
I love esoteric languages because they're so weird. But moving on, our next topic is about a tragic death. The death of Flash.
Come on. Look what you've done, Professor. You made Debbie Boy cry.
You killed my boy.
Well.
And we're not talking about DC hero Flash here. We're talking about something else. Other Flash.
Not my pretty Flash player. I remember when I used to watch videos of Flash Player, it wouldn't load, and then it would load, then it jumps forward 5 frames, then jumps back 6 minutes. It was fun. I enjoyed it so much. Hey, YouTube.
Yeah, Flash had its issues.
I remember when I played Flash games and it asked me to do a login. Turns out this game was stolen from another website and someone had managed to extract it and put in a brand new security flaw. Enter your email to have your hacking. There, your account hacks. Woot! No, little kitty. Yeah, I know you're 13. Trust me. This is 100% a safe website to play games on. Just don't mind the pop-ups. Yeah. It's 100% safe.
Yep.
You were saying there, Professor?
It's not perfect. It has a lot of issues.
It's not perfect. It was not perfect. It's dead.
But good things came out of it.
Not 100%. No, definitely.
It's just a shame. It's a shame we couldn't get a better tool. But for what it was, incredible things happened.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, it's sad, but at least I never have to touch Flash's scripting language again, ActionScript. Oh, God.
What terrifies me, though, is that up until a couple of months ago, at least, the Coles training website still ran on Flash. Oh, and yeah, as an IT guy, I'd have to enable Flash, and every time it would make me twitch.
I feel sorry for the trainees and the Flash right now.
Yeah, so anyway, so many sites were based around Flash back then. And you can get a Flash emulator these days, or there are workarounds to get the last version of Flash working on your computer. Mm-hmm. But the website Flash Game History has got some interesting graphs about the development of Flash games.
Yeah, what's the history mainly about?
Well, about which games came first, how they developed, what was popular.
So what's it called?
FlashGameHistory.com. But he's also just published a collection of interviews.
Oh.
including the creator of Flash, Jonathan Gay, founder of Newgrounds, Tom Fulp, Rami Ismail, who you might know better from Vlambia.
Yes. Man, this website's amazing. Someone put a lot of time and dedication. Wow.
They have.
Holy moly. This spread chart showing what's popular in what year? 2003, Stick RPG, Bubble Trouble, 100%, yeah. 2005, Escape Room. Let's jump across. Man, it goes crazy between, 2010's like, whoa.
I think we just blew Davy Boy's mind.
Yeah,
it's sad. In 2013, everything starts to die. Oh.
Just a note, that was about when they announced that they were winding it back, wasn't it?
So.
It took them a long time to wind it down, but they announced it. But just a note, on the Flash Games history page, the second section is quite flashy. I don't know if that's an issue for epilepsy or not, but just be aware.
I see, yeah. It's not too bad, but it is there. It's noticeable.
Crazy parts.
Oh my god, Skincraft! Oh, that is 2011 and 100%. You can't spend $30 buy Minecraft? Here's Skincraft. And Mind Blocks, 1.8 million. Oh man!
The sad part with Flash dying is all those websites. I wonder how Newgrounds is going to survive now.
They're fine. They've upgraded because obviously knew it was coming. They've changed everything to different systems, so everything runs HTML5 now. They've still got a very bustling community of artists. Like it's basically the competitor to DeviantArt, really. So I think they're really still just fine. Like you can run Unity games in the browser, everything. So they've still that up.
Yeah.
Because back in the
if
day,
that fails, you have Blue Maximus Flashpoint.
Oh yeah.
Which I've mentioned before, but is a project to collect and curate. I don't even know if they're doing much curating, but they're collecting Flash games and making sure they keep running. And it's something like 500 gigs of Flash games as the whole thing.
Quick, everybody, whip out your thumb drives and start downloading.
I may or may not have the collection downloaded.
The crazy part, though, is like how back in the good old days, everyone would visit Newgrounds for the Flash animations and see how cool people would use that thing. And
Minecraft,
man.
the Flash game. Apologies.
Oh,
that sounds like a rubbish knockoff.
Yep.
Okay, so what year is this? 2011. Oh, sex realism version 0.375.
Yeah, there was some dodgy stuff going on in Flash games.
500,000 times at newgrounds.com.
What surprised me is that I saw Motherload in that list at about 850,000.
Yeah.
I can't believe that only had 850,000 because everyone I know.
I'm looking for Race 2 on here and I can't find it for the life of me because I thought it was really popular, but apparently not. Oh, well, sorry for keeping sidetracking us.
Okay.
Hey, I recommend the interviews on this site. They're fairly short, but it is it really feels a bit nostalgic. It's a bit sad, but if Flash was any part of your life, go and check it out. Do you guys have a favorite Flash game?
I said it before, the Ray series of games.
Nice. Johnny Rocket Fingers for me.
I was about to say, it'd probably be Rays and Stick Wars.
Oh, remember how stick animation was the thing with Flash animation? Man, that was
animation
fun.
Versus animator. That was probably the highlight of all those stuff. Oh my god, yeah, Crazy Fancy Pants. God, I haven't seen that in years. I've just played all. Oh my, yeah. What's it called? X-Gen Studios. What was the game? Motherload. Yeah. Oh my.
Wow, Professor, I think you took Debbie Boy to a memory lane.
Yeah, we've lost him.
Yep.
Okay, time to close the window. Oh, this video, so nostalgia.
Yep, he's taking a Porsche down memory lane.
Anyways.
And then what were the other websites that were famous besides Newgrounds? Miniclips was also famous.
Games as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it does like all the pirate like dodgy shit once.
Man, what's gonna suck now? Like, remember how people would use Flash animation just to make all these cool stuff? That's gonna be dead.
It will, but I think there will be replacements that pop up.
Yeah, I used to love making Flash animations using Macromedia Flash in the good old days. Now I'm like, man, feels like an end of an era.
Not wrong, eh?
I will say this: we did speak about the best of Flash. What was the worst of Flash you've ever encountered?
Worst of Flash? Might be going a bit of age rating here.
It was sorry, we kind of overlapped here. Was that, Professor?
Security issues.
Oh yeah. What were you, Davey Boy? What was your worst of Flash moment?
Worst of Flash
you've
moment
encountered?
was when you. Okay, so you're just searching as a kid for Flash games, and then you search websites, and then you load up an R18 plus furry porn site for the Flash games, and you're like, well, time to release my history and my soul. But I mean, you give anyone creative tools, it's going to happen. So it's not really worst of Flash, it's more worst of humanity. But not king shaming, just saying.
Yeah, that was the sort of dodgy stuff going on that I was talking about.
So, okay, guys, good drawings. I'm just gonna take the back door, thanks. In terms of actual glaring issues, probably bugginess with the actual software towards the final years. The Flash Adobe player and a Flash what do you call it? I don't. This is called Flash, wasn't it? I mean, the program itself, it was so buggy, it could crash constantly. Obviously, because Adobe wasn't putting much thought into it because they're wanting to kill it with a shotgun. But probably my biggest things.
The downside for now that Flash is gone, this will take out a lot of the other Adobe related products which has associated with Flash, like Dreamweaver and stuff.
No, it won't.
No,
Dreamweaver's still around. Dreamweaver's a web dev tool, not a Flash dev tool.
I always thought, even with the Flash, even though Dreamweaver is a web dev tool, you would need Flash, and Flash is vital with the web in terms of web development.
No, it's not at all.
Not at all?
No, and basically anything that you could do in Flash, you can now do in HTML5.
That's true, yeah.
Or JavaScript, if that floats your boat. Which it shouldn't really.
Web development's going to be a whole new game now that Flash is gone.
I think most web devs moved on a while ago.
Oh yeah, since 2015, it's basically everyone's moved on with Flash. The sec they didn't have the Flash software anymore, everyone's like, yes, yeah.
Yeah, and it never ran on Apple phones, so...
Because Apple is Apple.
Yeah.
But Steve Jobs,
so there's not really any...
It's 2008, and everyone's going to iPhone. We want to play Flash games. No, Apple Store. There shall be no Flash in the Apple house.
Yeah, so Apple blocked it. So if you created a Flash program after, 2012 or so, you're cutting out a big chunk of your audience because Apple fans.
Yeah, basically at that point, what killed Flash was the fact that the iOS store and Google Play a little bit later, because that's where all the kids were. And the main target audience for Flash games at the time, of course. So why would you develop for a website when you can develop for the mobile phone and have that pocket which they can easily access without them worrying about putting on websites and copyright issues? Made to no one, you could keep your game locked down to your own company or your personal profile a lot easier. Because in Flash, people found ways they can take the game and put it up on any junk website they like, right? It was just a file.
Yeah.
But
the other big advantage of releasing on a phone, you can have ads.
Money, yeah, that's a big one. I'm sure some of the websites had some deals set up for people, but you can charge for the game itself before downloading, and then, have a whole ad system, microtransactions, and all the stuff we have today in it.
I found an article about why Steve Jobs hates why Steve Jobs hates Flash on iPhones, and the reason why it's because it's buggy. He even stated that the rare times when a Mac crashes, it's usually due to Flash. Jobs also predicted that no one would be using Flash in the future, instead turning to HTML5, which is somewhat ironic. Why? Because HTML5 is the platform used by Google to allow the new browser-supported Google Voice app to bypass Apple's App Store and work on mobile Safari. The CEO says that Apple has the potential to do many great Adobe has the potential to do many great things, but just doesn't, and he calls the company lazy.
Oh.
And this was in 2010 at the end of January.
Well, anyone could tell that in the future people won't use Flash. But yes, he was right.
I'll tell you right now, I bet in 30 years no one's going to be using iPhones. Wow, I have such foresight, right? But speaking of Apple, should we segue into our next topic?
We should. DJ, what's the deal with rap lyrics?
So apparently there's a precedent that rap lyrics are now admissible as court evidence.
I thought this was a thing they'd done for a few years. I didn't know it was a new thing to use rappers in court.
Yeah, so the case goes like this. So on the January 27th killing of George Forrester, which was shot by a drug dealer after he attempted to buy cocaine with a counterfeit bill. And based on the single witness identification, Lawrence Montague was indicted for Forrester's murder. 3 weeks before the trial, Montague used the jailhouse telephone to record a rap verse, which was then uploaded to Instagram. At Montague's trial, the state of Maryland introduced the telephone recording of the lyrics as evidence of Montague's guilt, and Montague was convicted and sentenced to a combined 50 years for second-degree murder and the use of a firearm in the crime of violence.
I mean, yeah. Should they be able to do that though, DJ? What do you reckon?
I don't know. Like, it comes down to the whole like freedom of speech and the legal consequences kind of thing. You know, it's kind of heading that direction.
Well, what about cases where the work is actually based on the crime that they committed? Oh, so there's precedent in the US that if you write a book based on a crime you committed, you can't get any royalties for it.
Yeah, because that's under the whole profiting from crime. I mean, it's been done here as well. Like, remember when with Chappelle Corby and how ASIO decided to raid into Channel 7 and said like, oh yes, she is not going to profit from this, and we're not letting her profit from the reports.
Okay.
Yeah, so here we go. I'm reading this law report here. So the Court of Appeal had held that rap lyric evidence has heightened probative value and is admissible as substantive evidence of a defense's guilt when lyrics bear a close nexus to the details of the alleged crime. Petitioner's rap lyrics had a close nexus to the details of alleged murder because the lyrics had a close factual nexus to the details of the murder, had a close temporal nexus to the murder, and recited Stop Snitching reference that was published on social media to potentially intimidate witnesses to the murder. As a result, this close nexus, petitioner's rap lyrics tended to improve his involvement in the murder and served as substantive evidence to his guilt.
You know what this does remind me of? O.J. Simpson writing "If I Did It."
This reminds me of Johnny Cochran's line, if the glove fits.
If the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit.
Oh yeah, that's the one. Yeah, if it doesn't fit, you must acquit. That's the line.
Yes, because he reckoned that, well, the defense was that the glove belonged to the killer, and if O.J. Simpson's hand didn't fit, then obviously he can't be the killer, right? But there's a lot of arguments for why that could still be the case, like the glove shrinking from being wet, and O.J. Simpson not taking his arthritis medicine so that his hands swell up. But he then went out and wrote a book that actually says, if I did kill them, here's how I would have done it. And...
Hey boys, this is how I've killed them. Spicy topics.
Yeah, it's like, what? Why would you?
Now everyone thinks I killed this person, but I'm now going to prove that I did it by saying how I would. This can't go wrong at all. Now that's some blue sky thinking. Wow, such innovation.
But there is a bit of a flaw with this whole rap lyrics thing. They said here, when the defendant's rap lyrics are insufficiently tethered to the details of an alleged crime, the lyrics should be excluded as unfairly prejudicial propensity evidence. The probative value of petitioners' rap lyrics was not substantially outweighed by the danger of unfair prejudice because a close nexus existed between petitioners' lyrics and the details of an alleged murder.
Yeah, I suppose there are cases where it's obvious it's about them, like the song Rolf Harris wrote about his victims.
Oh, no, don't get me started about that one. Oh.
Yeah, jeez. Seems like if you write a song about your crimes, you're a bit of a scumbag, right?
But I don't know, what do you reckon? Music lyrics in general, like, would you, if you were the judge of a court case, would you want to do it though? Like, add it as court evidence? Like,
depending on when the song was written and what the context of the lyrics are. Because I remember seeing a comment once on Cat Stevens, which song was it? I don't remember which one off the top of my head, but it has the lyric, if he tries to rule the sky, he must fall. And then another line that's like, we must try to break it down, do our best to shake the ground, or something along those lines. And I remember seeing a comment saying he wrote this about 9/11 because Cat Stevens famously converted to being a Muslim. The thing is, the song was published in the 70s.
Wow.
Yeah, so in that case, it's obvious it couldn't have been about 9/11. If I did it, he's been found innocent, but it does sound pretty dodgy to write a book about that. And then, like Rolf Harris in prison writing a song about his victims that is straight up about them. There's, I think it depends on the context of the work.
Yeah. Is it murderous fun?
It is, but like, should we preemptively put people in jail for publishing works that are violent?
I mean, we're kind of entering into that era, though. What? I mean, look at China, for example. They would punish anyone.
China's an edge case.
China has been China for as long as China existed in some form. They've broken apart more times than they've been together.
So I'm reading through this article, and they're saying here, the chilling effects of this ruling on the creativity of all rap and hip hop is greatly concerning. Great music is more often than not rooted in storytelling, and by imposing criminal consequences for a story told through the artistic medium, the court here threatens to stifle creativity and limits the scope of artistic expression.
Yeah, I don't think that's valid, because it's still perfectly fine to write a song that's about violence and murder, as long as you're not the one doing the murdering. And, maybe when you're in jail under suspicion of murder, it's a bad time to go around yelling about murder in people's faces. I know that's, being prejudiced because of what they did while they're in jail, but it's not like...
Really? Is it really a bad idea? Wow, I could have never known that.
It's not like they're just scooping up anyone who's ever had a violent thought and throwing them in jail for it.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Because it's not like... there is substantial reason to why. I mean, okay, you can rap about, doing drugs and all this shit, as long as you're not doing it. But, Mr. Snoop Dogg walks in and he's like, how many packs deep in freaking marijuana, right? It's just like, yeah, I rap about it. I don't take it at all. Oh, yeah. Nah. No.
Remember a few years ago at E3 when he was brought on to play Battlefield 1?
Yeah.
And the people next to him basically got high just from sitting next to him, from being in his aura of smoke.
You know what? He keeps to his name well. He does snoop.
I will say this: there have been cases of rappers saying outlandish lyrics and getting investigated. The most famous one I can remember is Eminem when he did like a rap rhyme on I think some award show. Then he got investigated by the FBI as a result of that.
Yeah.
If you get investigated,
it's definitely possible that it's prejudice.
Yeah, I mean, if you get investigated by FBI, it's not the worst thing in the world because it's more if they go ahead and do an arrest.
At least the FBI, like some little town police department, they'll lock you up and throw away the key and not do the investigation
it's good
properly.
They investigate because if something was going down, which there probably wasn't, of course. So it's like, okay, they solved that, right? They made sure it's okay, so it's okay. But it was like the police car just bursting guns blazing. I think you made a rap song about something. We're arresting you because of that. Then that's okay. Just take a few steps back, please.
And I like in this article, the author of this article is saying, I would invite anyone suggesting that this ruling is not limited to rap music to find an example of a court admitting lyrical evidence of a country singer driving drunk or shooting a cheating spouse.
That's kind of true. I can't think of any examples off the top of my head there. I can think of a dozen times when people have rapped about murders they've committed or whatever, or been accused of it, but I can't think of country singers.
Can you imagine Elvis Presley or Tim McGraw going like, "Yeah, I did all this and I did all that."
Did you or did you not fall into a burning ring of fire?
Johnny Cash.
Well, Johnny Cash wrote songs about crimes.
Oh yeah.
The first one that comes to mind is the one where he steals a car piece by piece in his lunchbox.
Obviously, he's guilty. Go out. Done. Case closed.
So at the end, the author writes, the art should be a safe space where humans can bring attention to the best and worst parts of our society and human experience, whether we're celebrating, educating, protesting, or anywhere in between. It shouldn't be valued any differently because of it's crafted in a jailhouse rather than a recording studio.
Well, that's also true. Creating art in jail is still art, but not when it's about the crime you've committed. So, especially if it's unrepentant, it's something, we'd have to see the full facts of the case, I think, to make a decision on this. But I personally think that if you're dumb enough to admit to a crime in some work, then that's you should be able to use that in court. But who knows the truth of this case?
Mm-hmm. I agree with the professor on this one. I mean, we need to get all the context and the facts about this case before we make a sound decision. But yeah.
Speaking of wanting to know all the information, Apple has some new products.
There we go. Debbie's doing my job for me, and he's better at it than you are, DJ.
So, leaks and air quotation marks have been released that shows the Apple is now reportedly attempting to make two folding phones. One will be a competitor to the Samsung Galaxy Fold. Another one will be a competitor to the Z Flip in a similar style, based on the reports. Still early days, but Apple is beginning to work on the technology. Basically Apple only does stuff if they believe it's something is going to sell. And from them adopting this, it pretty much is going to standardize folding phones as an actual feature phone in the market, I believe. Oh yeah, what are you guys' thoughts?
Well, Apple won't do anything until they're sure they can do it right and that they can claim they were the first one to do it.
So have you something different then? The estimated release date is late 2022. So it's still a while away. So obviously going to be more time there for other companies to bring out different types of folding phones. So I do question what they're going to do to make it theirs, if you know what I mean.
It just reminds me of that South Park episode where Butters plays a supervillain. He's like, I'm going to create these schemes to create to destroy the world, and his sidekick's like, Simpsons did it. That's what it feels like. It's like Apple saying like, yeah, we're going to make this folding phone. And so I bet you some Apple intern will be like, Samsung did it.
Samsung did it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, because I didn't expect them to jump on board this train. It's not a very Apple train to be on.
No, there's a lot of issues with it so far.
Perhaps, I don't know, maybe they'll actually create folding glass technology like full on like Samsung's, or maybe, or could it be possibly they're going to make these the first part of the new generation of cordless, socketless, buttonless phones. So it's the feature, the gimmick of the phone then is that it has the folding technology, but it doesn't have any buttons, no recharging ports, no nothing. So that way you can use it in any environment and like stand up in different ways, perhaps. I don't know. I'm just running on fumes here in terms of ideas because it really is, as you said, Apple's got to make it their own in some way. And that's, Apple likes to inflate the price a bit.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what Apple pulls off. I'm not a huge Apple fan, but when they do get around to jumping on the bandwagon, they make sure they do it right.
Yes, and make sure to
the
avoid
most
price
positive
by
thing I
a
can say.
lot.
Actually, there's a lot of things Apple's done wrong, but
I love the fact.
I suppose we are a bit distracted by the good bits. Their laptops have good exterior design. The hardware inside's a bit,
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but that's the thing with Apple, though. Most of the Apple stuff, like the laptops, their phones and stuff, they're just fashion accessories at this point.
Yes, mostly. It is a prestige thing, but also for those that are not tech savvy, they are easier computers to use. Like, Apple computers and their system only works with Apple stuff, but it's impeccably easy for someone who's brain dead with any sort of technology, which for a lot of people out there is, well, what they need for their jobs. And because of that, they can charge the price immensely. As when you go down the ladder of like PC knowledge versus price, you have Apple stuff at the top, which is highly expensive and highly easy to use, right? Then you go to Windows, it's about, it's a medium. You can build whatever rig you like, put Windows on it, blah, blah, blah. It's functionality-wise, it's in the middle because, it's usable, but you also can modify it a lot. And then you have Linux at the bottom, which is like impeccably difficult to use if you're not someone who understands mainframes and coding, as well as cheapest because it's free. So that's like the tier list.
Yeah, and then Apple does have a lot of issues. Apart from the interior hardware being lacking, they do sometimes have issues with their exterior hardware, like the butterfly keyboard, where the slightest grain of dust would destroy it.
Oh, God.
And they've gone back to the older style, which is good, though, only after like 5 years. But the M1 is pretty exciting.
Yes, it is.
Like, I'm not an Apple fan. I wouldn't normally get hyped for an Apple release, but the M1, that's, I want to see more CPU manufacturers because we need more competition in that space.
Oh, definitely, 100%.
I think Apple should go back to their roots in terms of storage and music stuff in terms of the folding phone. Maybe turn from an iPod, maybe turn the iPod Mini into an iPod Shuffle or something like that.
I mean, this is just going to be another optional form factor. You won't need to use the flip phone. Just like, up until Steve Jobs died, Apple would tend to only do one of each thing. But now they're doing the smart thing and having a couple of variants. So they'll have the flip on the iPhone 20 or whatever. But then you'll be able to still buy the smaller form factor, cheaper iPhones that won't have a flip.
See the thing with flip phones, while they're cool to look at, I think they're more of an aesthetic thing than anything else. I don't know. I might be cynical on this one, but
yeah, I'm a fan of flip actually, because it would mean that the interior screen can be better protected.
I mean, I've been seeing some of the cool stuff that Marques Brownlee has released in terms of the flip phones, and they look cool, like the designs and whatnot. But in terms of functionality, would you pay? Okay, question: would you pay money to get a folding phone?
I would if it was in the price range and had the features I want.
Likewise, I
won't do it just because Apple does.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say money. If money was no object, then would you still get it?
If it would hold up to actually being used, which from the flip phones we've seen so far.
And the interesting thing is, there's not only the flip phones, there's also the swivel phones as well. And that looks really weird, wouldn't you agree, fellas?
Yeah, definitely.
It's an interesting form factor. It's an experiment, so
I like that they're doing experiments, because for ages the mobile market's been sterile. Everything's just a square box with a screen slapped on it now. You look at like the 2000s phones, it's like, holy shit, half these designers and something, because the screen flips out this way, left, right, up, down, 2 keyboards, 3 keyboards, a keyboard and lights. It's just like they're throwing everything at the wall to see what will stick and trying something different of each model of phone. And nowadays, every phone is basically the same, right? So I think in trying all these new ideas is, for me, I find really cool and something I'm definitely buying into once the time comes for it to be cheaper.
Yeah. Anyway, moving along. What have you done this week, DJ?
I have been watching a series called Meta Runner, and I'm liking it. I'm really liking it, to be honest. It's made by an Australian company called SMG64, which is based in Sydney. And oh man, the story is intriguing in terms of it's based around the world of esports and transhumanism, and you follow the journey of a girl by the name of Tari and how she's trying to figure out her past, and she makes some new friends, and they're going against this organization called Taz Corp. That's the short end of it, but yeah.
Okay.
And I will say this, like the story, the writing, it's really cool. Like really amazing look at the styles, the animation, really crisp. Although my only slight criticism is, okay, I don't know about you guys, but I just think, what is with the animation style? Like, like the 3D animation, like, I sometimes cringe on the animation of it. Like it's like the whole series is supposed to be an anime, but it's not really an anime with all the lovely 3D. I mean, that kind of gets me at sometimes.
Okay. Is there anything else about it? How many points do you give it?
I would give this 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5, like with the like I said, the graphics, even though the graphics are just like, yes, we've seen this in every like Australian animated series. Yes, we've seen that type of thing. The story writing is nicely done. The music is beautiful to listen to. It's not the same old like grindy music that you hear in every other anime with the butt rock and whatnot. Like there is an element of suspense that I have not seen in a long time. So yeah, besides that small criticism, I like the feel of it. It's pretty good.
Okay, what about you, Devi?
I have been playing GTA 5 for the first time. Well, attempting to finish the campaign for the first time. So
You spend a lot of time in the online?
no, I just never really played it much. I'll pick it up on the PS4, and then we'll just drive around and kill people as you do on GTA.
Fair enough.
Cause mayhem, get 5-star one level, just enter some cheats and have fun. But because I got it for free through Epic Games Store a few months ago, I finally sat down during the lockdown. Now it's like, might as well finish this thing before 6 comes out in like 8 years.
Yeah, I still can't believe GTA 5 was the leading trailer for the PlayStation 5 announcement.
Have you seen reaction videos of it? Everyone's like, Rockstar Games, oh my god, GTA 5, and then the logo appears. Oh my god, GTA 6, and the logo appears. So it's just GTA 5, and it's like, oh my god. Because look, GTA 5 is the best-selling game on both the PS3, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and PS4. Like, come on, guys. It made enough money. It's time for a new one. But yeah, I mean, there's not really much I could say that's already been said about the game. So I'll just give it a 5 out of 5 straight away. The only thing I will be knocked off about, I hope they improve next one, is the way police spawn is bullshit.
So you'd say you'd give it 5 out of 5 GTAs?
Yes. The main reason that police thing is because you can be driving down the street and then suddenly 5 police spawn in front of you, right? Well, you've been dead quiet, and then the guys who are following you just despawn, and the game wants you to turn around and go in the opposite direction. It's like, it's not very realistic. So.
Yeah, fun bug, though, that I'm not aware of ever being fixed. Animals will turn you into the police.
What?
So you think, I'll go out into the bush and commit my crime, and no one will know. But animals will witness you and call the cops.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because I think someone made a mod that might have fixed it, but there's like one line in the code that sets whether a creature is intelligent enough to call the police.
Yes, the crowd's going to call the police. Snip, snip.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing how often things like that get out there. Same thing happened with Aliens Colonial Marines. The AI was broken because of one typo.
I know. Did it fix the game of being terrible? Yeah. But a bit better if they fix the code up a bit. Oh, poor BioWare. No, that was Gearbox. My fault. BioWare are making another Aliens game, but that got cancelled by Sega because they decided they wanted to go include Marines.
Well, at least Isolation's
Yes,
good.
definitely.
Oh, I also forgot to tell you, but Meta Runner, with the series, by the way, it's the graphics are done. Epic Game Studio does the graphics in that one.
Okay. And
With the GTA 5, by the way, Davey Boy, have you done any mods to it yet, or are you gonna
Wait till this campaign. Then I might be all.
one of the great things about the PC release is that you can turn up the pedestrian density
Oh, really?
and have just so many more NPCs around than there were on the
True.
console release. Because the city always feels a bit empty looking at videos of the console release.
Another bugger. So, when you're in 5-star, above 3 stars, they start to despawn NPCs and cars in your vicinity, right? That are not police cars, basically. That's a bugger, because you can have your sniper rifle out and you're trying to shoot other cars down the road, and they're coming driving towards you, they just disappear. Like a gun. And so, obviously, as little as they can do. Okay, last bugger. Rockstar's mission design is terrible. Please drive to this one location, this one area. No, you can't park your car across the street. Please drive right here now. God. So, everyone's complained about that multiple times. Yeah.
Someone made a mod where they put the Australian police cars in it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there's a lot of good mods for that.
I'm sure there are hundreds of millions of mods at this point, considering how long the game's been out for. And then there's online, which you don't speak of.
Although that new submarine looks pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely.
It only costs you like $20 billion.
Literally, there's no point of playing online these days unless you're loaded with actual real-life cash you want to spend the game. Because you're never going to... You just spend your time driving around getting shot at.
Yeah, apparently the new update makes it easier to earn money, but I haven't played in, 2 years now.
Would you say it's worth it still?
It was alright when I was playing, but I don't know, honestly. This was like before the oppressor was a thing. And I hear the trolling got a lot worse when the oppressor came in.
And what's that?
Flying motorbike with homing missiles.
Holy shit, okay.
I think you intrigued Debbie Boy.
More scared for my life.
Yeah, so I marathoned really the David Bowie movie The Man Who Fell to Earth and the musical Lazarus. They were doing they did a live stream of Lazarus this weekend as to honor David Bowie's birthday. And since I missed out on seeing it when it was in Australia because of exams, I finally got to see it. I'm so confused, but I have to give it 5 out of 5.
Because it's David Bowie.
Yes, but the editing in the movie is wacky. The symbolism is weird. But the way the musical recontextualizes David Bowie songs and tells a story with them is incredible.
What is it called again?
Lazarus.
Okay.
It's the sequel to The Man Who Fell to Earth, which is about an alien coming to Earth to, it's basically about Elon Musk. Alien comes to Earth, invents all this cool tech, and wants to go home. Lazarus is a sequel to that.
Well, Alien,
but,
man.
I suppose it's not a spoiler since the movie's been out for like 50 years. That long? No. 40 years, something about that. Somewhere between 40 and 50 years. He's come to Earth to save his own planet, and he fails. So Lazarus leads in with that. Like he's been on Earth for another few decades, gone into alcoholism and all of that. But the movie, gratuitous sex scenes all over the place. Yes. I think you need to watch them I think Lazarus would stand on its own, but I think you really need to watch it as a package to really get where Thomas Jerome Newton is coming from in Lazarus. Because without knowing that he came to Earth and how he ended up where he is, it's just kind of an alcoholic who wants to go to space.
I can relate to that.
No, I really enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, man.
And I'm still processing it because the symbolism and all that, still interpreting it. Yes, we'll do a short break, for an ad, get back to you with our shout-outs and remembrances for this week. So, of course, we have to add Jonas Neubauer, who the Tetris champion we mentioned earlier. But for our shout-outs this week, we have, on the 3rd of January this year, One Piece hit 1,000 chapters. After more than 25 years, it's finally hit 1,000 chapters. I don't know, is that a long time or a short time for a manga?
Yeah, it's one of the longest running mangas. Oh, second longest running mangas in history. Or maybe it's past that with the new chapter. Let me check.
So the writer, Ichiro Oda, I think, is how you pronounce that?
Yep.
Has spent half of his life publishing One Piece. Weekly? Bloody hell, that's a lot of story.
Oh yeah. They're
How many pages are in a weekly manga?
on a weekly manga. I think it's 18.
Okay, so short, but it must take a hell of a production line to keep up with that for 25 years.
Oh yeah, he's got like editors and editors, artists and stuff. He does all. I think he does all of them by himself. I think.
Okay. Oda says that they're entering the final arc, and it's been a long story, but please support Luffy a little bit longer.
Aww.
And on the 4th of January, we have Tanya Roberts, the Bond girl from A View to a Kill, also in the sitcom That 70s Show. She died several hours after she was mistakenly declared dead by her publicist and her partner.
Just quickly to finish up on that One Piece one. So no, it's not the longest running manga in history. The longest running manga is Dakavin, which started in 1972, and it's still, last chapter was in 2018 and it's still going. With a total combined, unknown but predicted to be over 2,000 chapters.
Wow.
Then the second longest manga in history is another one started in 1976, which has a very long Japanese title I'm not going to pronounce, but I'll put it in the description. With a combined total of 1,960 chapters. So, unfortunately, no, it's not the longest running. It's at place... let's quickly find this. It's at place 25 in the longest running series of all time. But in terms of sales, I believe it's one of the most best-selling mangas. Let me just double-check that. Where else? Summer high on the list. One Piece. Highest selling manga in history. Approximate sales is roughly around 470 million copies sold, which is a mighty step up from Dragon Ball, which has approximately its max 30 million copies sold. So it's well and far ahead. It's the best selling manga in history.
Yeah. So, yes, Tanya Roberts. She played Stacey Sutton in A View to a Kill. She also was in The Beastmaster and Hearts and Armor, and played the third angel, Julie, in Charlie's Angels. She died from a urinary tract infection in Los Angeles, California.
Interesting fact on this one. As I was researching it, she also played in the as the comic book hero Sheena. I'm like, wow, she was Sheena? I did not know that.
And on the 10th of January this year, we have the 5th anniversary of David Bowie's passing. On the 10th of January 2016, 2 days after his 69th birthday, David Bowie died at his Lafayette Street home in New York City after fighting liver cancer for 18 months. He died 2 days after the release of his 25th album, Black Star. He'd kept his illness private, shocking fans and friends.
I mean, he kept it private, but it was pretty clear in that final album what I was talking about.
Yeah. Looking back on it, it is very clearly about preparing for his own death.
Yeah, it's depressing watch that music video these days. Holy shit.
Gotta give that man credit though. Like he made that. He made that final album while undergoing that. I mean, that is some balls of steel. It is
a banger for a final. Well, it's not exactly a banger. It's a great album. It's not a head wrap thrasher. It's a very, what do you call it? It's a very mellow sort of album, I guess.
Yeah, some of the songs are mellow and poignant.
Yeah,
especially Dollar Days. Oh,
right. Jeez, that one so relaxing, but the undertones
and Lazarus.
Yeah.
Black Star's a bit weird.
That's a very interesting sound to it, doesn't it?
Yeah. So Memorial's popped up all around the world, and Black Star stayed atop the charts for 3 weeks. He was the biggest selling vinyl artist of 2016 in the UK, with 5 albums in the vinyl top 30. I reckon it was good. It probably would have been huge even if he hadn't died.
100%, I agree.
It's a bit weird, but it's Bowie.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's the same case with Michael Jackson. When he died, like album sales went through the roof after he died.
Yes, and David Bowie's last public appearance was actually at the premiere of Lazarus, the play. Huh.
I'm just glad he was able to see the Space Odyssey video before he died. It's like full circle, right? Astronaut playing a song in space. You've made it, man.
Yes, that Chris Hadfield cover of Space Oddity is amazing.
Also, name drop, his son does a series called Rare Earth, which is absolutely fantastic. So
Hadfield's son?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you watched those videos before?
Bowie's son. No, I haven't actually seen Rare Earth.
No. Okay, so it's actually his son. He goes all around the world and shares stories and things. It's like documentaries in a way. So it's basically Tom Scott, but he does more serious topics, put it that way, like war, conflict, cultural clashes, and things like that. It's really interesting. It's more philosophical, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, David Bowie's son's done some pretty good movies as well.
Oh,
he actually did the Warcraft movie that came out a few years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
And I thought that's a waste of his talents because he's really good at sci-fi. And this is just sort of a generic fantasy. I know it's Warcraft, but you can't get much more generic fantasy than Warcraft.
Oh, come on. Warcraft's not that generic. Oh, hang on.
Wait, Hatfield was in Wait. So who was in the Warcraft movie again?
It was directed by Duncan Bowie, or Duncan Jones.
No way.
Yeah, he's also done other great movies like Source Code. It's one I really love.
Nice.
And on to our remembrances. On the 6th of January 1945, we have Vladimir Vernadsky. Vladimir Ivanovich Vernadsky was a Russian, Ukrainian, and Soviet mineralogist and geochemist, one of the founders of geochemistry, biogeochemistry, and radiogeology. He's most noted for his 1926 book, The Biosphere, where he inadvertently worked to popularize Edward Seuss's 1885 term biosphere by hypothesizing that life is a geological force that shapes the Earth. In Vernadsky's theory, the noosphere is the third stage in the Earth's development, after the geosphere, inanimate matter, and the biosphere, biological matter. Just as the emergence of life fundamentally transformed the geosphere, the emergence of human cognition will fundamentally transfer the biosphere. Here we go about the development of consciousness again. This theory complements the theory of natural selection. Vernadsky's pronouncements were not widely accepted in the West, but he was one of the first to recognize that oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere are a result of biological processes. In the 1920s, he published articles arguing that living organisms could reshape planets as surely as any physical force. He was a pioneer of the scientific basis for the environmental sciences. He died at 81 in Moscow. So, for our famous birthday, on the 6th of January 1932, we have Stuart A. Rice, an American theoretical chemist and physical chemist. During his tenure at the University of Chicago, he trained more than 100 PhD students and postdoctoral researchers. While at Yale, he began to study the transport properties of liquids, developing the theory of electronic excitations in molecular crystals and liquids, moving into the area of radiationless molecular transitions. The research led him to investigate the effects of quantum chaos on excited molecules, and to couple the developing model of transitions with quantum chaos in order to attain control of the transition of excited molecules. At the same time, he began work on understanding the electrical properties of liquid metals. Along with training over 100 students, doctoral students, he is famous for eating lunch almost every weekday at the Quadrangle Club restaurant, where he has dined over 9,000 times. He is known to sit at the head of the chemistry table not because he is the most senior member, but because he is very tall. He was born in New York City. And for our event of interest, we have a movie, a Mad Max knockoff. On the 6th of January 1988, Wheels of Fire was released in France. The plot is, in a post-apocalyptic future, a ruthless vehicular gang called the Highway Warriors is conquering the wasteland through murder and plunder. During a raid, they kidnap the sister of a road warrior named Trace. He brings hell down upon them. Mad Max is great, but, you didn't have to rip it off. But that's all we have for tonight. Do you guys have anything to add?
No, I say it's pretty good. I think we covered everything.
Yeah.
All right, so you can find us on all the major platforms. Follow us on Twitter at namalgamated or join our Facebook group. You can also find us at that'snotcanon.com, where you can find other That's Not Canon podcasts. Did you look them up this week, DJ?
Yeah, I've got one. It's called That's Classic Entertainment. So basically, the premise is on the last day of every month they release online an episode of original comedy sketches and music inspired by the great artists of the 1920s and beyond, refreshed for a contemporary audience 100 years on from the glory and ridiculousness of that golden era.
Okay, so look after yourself, stay hydrated, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
So if you're in Brisbane, stay inside, please.
But no, I must run away to the GTA lands.
Stay nerdy and see ya.
See ya, boys.